أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وآله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you all? Am I audible? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, yeah. So I can see around 40 sisters in the group, but only 19 responses I got. I don't know what's the reason about the question. Was it difficult? It is only for you to have an average idea, or you can say it's like a quick revision. The question what I formed was, it was like almost 50-50. The 50% it is completely on the theory, and 50% it was about the practical application, right? I think maybe 2 or 3 questions you might not have come across, but otherwise all the questions, 90% of the questions you'll be easy to answer, right? How did you feel the exam, the revision? Was that easy? Jazakallah khairan. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, now we will move to the discussion of the question. Okay, we will go through the summary also so that we can see what kind of answers the sisters have submitted. Okay. The first question, mechanism in the sound formation of sukoon. Okay, so we know there are 4 mechanism of sound formation: collision, vibration, friction, and separation with from a strong bonding, right? So for the sukoon, generally we say it is collision. Okay, there are some situations maybe you will feel sometimes sliding can happen or sometimes vibration can happen. So generally we say the mechanism or sound formation of a sakin letter, it is through collision. Okay, the 2 articulating parts will be there, they will collide each other and it will produce the sound. Okay, so from the aqsal lisan, dash are articulating. So 1 makhraj, 2 letters, so you have to think about the aqsal lisan, the back part of the tongue. We have the letter qaf and the kaf. For the qaf and the kaf, they are from 2 specific makharij, okay, to the Arabic term. Now you are advanced level students, you can slowly study the Arabic terms also, okay. The Arabic term for the specific makhraj, it is makhrajul khassa, khassa, kha, sad, okay, makhrajul khassa. It means the specific. Khassa means special or specific, right? Makhrajul khassa. Okay, so there are 2 specific makharij. And the general makhraj, the term is makhrajul amma. Okay, let me write that for you. Makhrajul amma. Okay, and makhrajul khassa. Okay, so these are the terms for the specific makhraj and general makhraj. Okay, so from aqsal lisan itself is the lisan is the general makhraj. So aqsal lisan, we can either say it's a specific makhraj or the exact makhraj we can say. But then again, from the aqsal lisan, we have again 2 different makharij, right? For the qaf and the kaf. So the answer is the second option, 2 makhraj and 1 letter, 2 letters. So the sisters who have got 1 makhraj and 2 letters, they might have think about the qaf and the kaf as the 1 makhraj. No, they are from 2 different makharij, right? The qaf is from the soft, it is hitting the soft palate, whereas the kaf, it is hitting the junction of the hard to soft. 10 makhraj and 18 letters, they might have thought about the complete lisan. Read the question carefully so that you can answer it properly. Okay. As the mad letters are articulated from jawf, they are called. So this you might not be studied about the nicknames of the letters. Okay, but anyways, you might know about the huruf al-jawfiyya, right? Huruf al-jawfiyya, it's a common name of the letters, or you can say huruf al-maddiyya. There are other names also, inshallah. By the end of the Sifa lesson, we will cover through the nicknames of the letters, inshallah. Okay, the huruf al-asaliya, no, it is about the Safir letters. The other name of Safir letters is asaliya. Okay. Then huruf al-ithawiyya, no, you don't need that. Okay. So now the answer is huruf al-jawfiyya, the letters of jawf. Okay. I know that when you are doing the Google Forms, if I give the Arabic letters, it will be very small, but you can enlarge it. Okay, you can just zoom it and you will be able to read the word carefully. Okay. Now the application of Tajweed rules in the recitation of Quran is dash. So here it is asked about the ruling of the application of Tajweed rules. Yani while you are reciting the Quran, whether you have to apply the Tajweedic rules in the recitation or not. That's the question. Just 1 minute. Okay, so about the application, okay, we studied, we discussed this question, right? So the ruling, whether it is mandatory, the Arabic term is wajib, or permissible, that means jaiz. So the ruling is mandatory. Okay, the optional, it is again the same meaning as permissible. Okay, so you can see as wajib, or sometimes you will be, as you are now studying, you will come across another term as lazim. Okay, the lazim, it is actually not a ruling. Okay, the ruling, it can be either wajib or jaiz, but the lazim, it is like there is no other way. There is no need even to say that it is a ruling, whether it is a wajib or jaiz. Understood? It is necessary. Okay, so the lazim, actually it is not a name of a ruling. The ruling, it can be either wajib or jaiz. Okay. Makhraj of gunna. Okay, the gunna, it's a part of the sound of the letter noon and the mim. So you know the exit of gunna is the empty space inside the nose. That is the nasal cavity. Okay. Alhamdulillah, no one got it wrong. Let's say here a few sisters, I think one sister got it wrong, huruf al-asliya. Here also from 90 responses, 6 sisters got it wrong. Okay, so it is just like, Oxford lesson, they didn't think about that carefully. That's it. Now the area closer to the chest, and it is the most extreme part of the throat. So the keyword here, it is the throat, right? So it is given as the throat. So you can think about the throat. We have two extreme. Either it can be adnal halq or it can be aqsal halq. Okay. Now the next part, the area that is closer to the chest. So adnal halq is an area of the throat which is closer to the mouth, and it is far away from the chest. But the aqsal halq is what? It is closer to the chest, while it is far away from the mouth. Okay. So you can check as to that. Now, the next session is the true or false. If you have any doubt, you can type in the chat. Okay, I'm just going through this quickly, so that otherwise you won't be covering in time. The makhraj of the letter noon is lower than the lam, touching the exact area of lam. Here, I don't think here something is missing. Okay, so listen, what I meant was to make the question. We have that the muqaddim al-hanak area, right? If this is the muqaddim al-hanak, we have this, the ridges area is there here, right? So if we go from inside to outside, we know that there are 3 hitting area here for the lam, for the noon, for the ra, and it is in this order itself, right? First it will hit for the lam, okay, and then it will hit for the noon, and then if it is ra, it will come again to the front area, and it will almost reaches the gum area. Color in another color. So it is for the noon here, and it is for the ra, it will be here, right? So the question is, it is not about the area of the tongue. Which area of the tongue is used for the makhraj of lam nun ra? No. Here it is asking about the hitting area. Which area it is hitting? Actually, when you do the makhraj of the lam, makhraj of the noon, makhraj of the ra, how the tongue is rising and how the tongue is hitting, both are different. Right? I will just explain that. I know you all know that, but again, okay, just go through that. So if this is my tongue, okay, we can divide the tongue into 3 parts. Okay, even though we will say the front part of the tongue as طرف اللسان, okay, the طرف اللسان, it is actually, we can divide into 3 areas. Okay, the first one, it is the حافة اللسان itself, as you already know about the makhraj of the lam, and then hafa is coming. Okay, and then we can say the top of the tip of the tongue. For some makhraj, you might have studied the makhraj itself as the top of the tip of the tongue will raise and it will hit the upper roof. Can you say which letter it comes like that? The top of the tip of the tongue along with the upper roof. Which letter? Top of the tip of the tongue. A letter O. Very good. Okay. And now actually the طرف اللسان itself is there. Okay. Even though the all together these 3 area, sometimes we will term as طرف اللسان. Okay. Just commonly we can say, but when we say the specific makhraj, we will not say. For example, if you someone asks you the makhraj of the lam, we will not say طرف اللسان. No. We can say the area of the lam, yani the hafat al-lisan or the adna al-hafa, it is coming in the area of طرف اللسان. We can generally say that. And the other 2 area, the top of the tip of the tongue and the طرف اللسان itself. So what is different in these 2 areas, yani the top of the tip of the tongue and the طرف اللسان? You know, we have a thickness to the tongue, right? For example, if you are taking, see, let's say this is my hand, okay? I have 3 fingers, okay? Let's say this is my hand, okay? And what you are seeing here, this is my white area, not the skin part, okay? So the skin part, it will be backside of my hand, okay? You can see here. So you will not be able to see my nails from this area, right? You are with me, right? Say yes or no. If I show you my white part of my hand, you won't be able to see my edges of my nails, right? Okay. So that means from almost like here, my nails will be almost this area, right? Okay. Now, if I turn my hand, you will be able to see the area with the nails. Okay. But then again, you won't be able to see an area here. Right? If you see, keep your hand in front of your mouth, little bit raised. Okay. Not below your eye level, little bit raised, above your eye level. Okay. And if you see from the front side or from the back side, you won't be able to see this area unless you turn your finger a little bit. You will curve, you will lower your finger a little bit. Okay. You can see the thickness of your finger, the area between the white part and the nail part, right? Yes or no? There is an area you will be able to see only if you lower the finger a little bit, right? So that area we can call as the thickness of my hand, right? Exactly like that, there is an area in the tip of the tongue, okay, which you will be able to see only if you raise the tongue a little bit. Only I don't know how to draw that, maybe like this, okay? This is my tongue. If my tongue is flat, you won't be able to see the thickness of the tongue. You will be at the extreme end, what you'll be seeing is the hafat al-lisan. Okay, see, this is my tongue and I am seeing my tongue from above. Okay, now the extreme end, what I am seeing here, this is the hafat al-lisan, right? The thickness of the tongue now I cannot see unless I raise my tongue a little bit. So if I raise my tongue a little bit, now you will be able to see the thickness of my tongue, like this here. Okay, so this thickness of the tongue is what we call as طرف اللسان. The thickness of the tongue is what is actually, and Imam Ibn Jazari is especially he is giving the letters, the طرف اللسان letters like that. Okay, the طرف اللسان, it is the thickness. Okay. So then what you will call for the top of the tip of the tongue? There is another term Imam Ibn Jazari is using in the poem. that is ظاهر طرف اللسان. ظاهر طرف اللسان. Okay, ظاهر طرف اللسان is the top of the tip of the tongue, whereas the طرف اللسان, and then we have حافة اللسان. Okay, so again حافة اللسان, it is for the letter lam. طرف اللسان, which is the thickness of the tongue, it is for the noon, and for the ظاهر طرف اللسان, it is for the letter ra. This is how the shape of the tongue is changing for these three makhraj. But for the hitting area, the first, it will be the lam. Yani remember about the muqaddimul hanak area, the ridges area. From inside to outside, the first one will be lam. Then in front of the lam, it will be noon. Then in front of the noon, it will be ra. So after the ra, it will be almost, it is starting the point of the gum area. So this is the makhraj of the letter lam, noon, ra, right? So I hope it's clear, right? Yeah, jazakallah khairan, alhamdulillah. Okay, dear. So this is, so that's the question here, okay? The makhraj of the letter noon is lower than the lam, touching the exact area. So the answer is wrong, okay? The makhraj of the letter noon is lower than the lam, touching the area in front of the lam, okay? The makhraj is not equal to that of lam. Alhamdulillah, everyone, 5 sisters, they got it wrong. They have written as true. No, okay, it is the wrong. Now I think now the point is clear. Al-Jawf is a makhraj al-muqaddar. So makhraj al-muqaddar, it might be a new term, I don't know. So muqaddar means approximate, that is non-specific, okay? Some sisters, maybe you might have studied about the no, approximate also teachers will use commonly, okay? So approximate, the Arabic term is makhraj al-muqaddar, whereas the specific articulation point, the term is makhraj al-muhaqqaq. Muhaqqaq, the true. Haqq means true, right? So that is the specific articulation point and non-specific or approximate articulation point. Okay. Lam is the hafat al-lisan, not the top of the tongue. It is the hafat al-lisan. Yeah. Muqaddar, it is given here. The other one is muhaqqaq. Mim, ha, qaf, qaf. Muhaqqaq. Okay, it is the specific articulation. You know, the articulation points are divided into two, specific and non-specific, right? Or non-specific or approximate. Okay, makhraj al-muhaqqaq and makhraj al-muqaddar. Okay, so al-jawf, yeah, al-jawf is the only one makhraj which is approximate. Okay, why these sisters got it wrong? It's a simple question. Don't, I mean, 12 plus 2, 14, 15, 16 sisters got it wrong. Okay. No, sorry, I was counting the opposite way. Al-Jawf is a makhraj al-muqaddar. It is a true statement. So only 3 sisters got it wrong. Okay. So all the other 4 makhraj al-amma, other than the Jawf. Okay. All the other 4, they are makhraj al-muhaqqaq. So this statement is true. There are 17 general makharij and 5 specific makharij. No, it is the ulta, right? There are 5 general makharij and it is 17 specific makharij. Okay. Again, this is test, they got it wrong. It is not because you don't know the answer. You just didn't read the question carefully. That's it. Letters having shidda and jahar will always result in qalqala. So we have the letters ajid qattin, yani qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal, again with the hamza. Okay. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal with hamza. The 6 letters they have shidda and jahar. The statement is false. Will always result in qalqala? No. Okay, will result in qalqala except for the letter hamza. In hamza, we will not do, even though it has shidda and jahar, we will not do qalqala, right? The back part of the tongue is included in the adnal halq. No, it is false. Either you can write the back part of the tongue is included in the aqsa lisan, or you can write the jadr lisan is included in the adnal halq. Okay. A few sisters have written here, jadr lisan is the back part of the tongue which is included in the adnal halq. Okay. The back part of the tongue, the term we usually use for the aqsa lisan. Okay. Of course, that is the beauty of the Arabic, and if you study Arabic terms, it is better. The deepest part, maybe the deepest part also sometimes we will use for the Aqsal Lisan itself, or maybe we will say root of the tongue. Okay, root of the tongue or Jadrul Lisan is included in the Adnan Haq. You can write that also. Qaf is a heavy letter, but Kaf is light, even though both are from Aqsal Lisan. Why? Because Qaf has isti'la, Kaf has, yeah, that is my question. Okay. Why we have to raise the back part of the tongue for Qaf? It's following of the late. This causes letter to have complete isti'la backside, maybe. As we heard, light. The makhraj is different. Qaf is deepest part and junction because they have different sifa. So listen's characteristics are different. Back part of the makhraj of letters are different. Yeah, almost these are all correct answer, but the major reason, if you can see, let's draw the. Okay, so for the Kaf, the tongue will raise like this and it will hit. Okay, the sound here will be the Wi-Fi symbol. The sound will exit. Okay, light letter. Whereas for the Qaf, my tongue will be like this. Okay, and the Wi-Fi symbol will be here, and the sound will be going up, right? And thus it will be heavy. So my question is, even though they are from the Aqsal Lisan, why Qaf is a heavy letter, whereas the Kaf is a light letter? Okay, I will draw the upper roof also. So the upper roof will be like this here. Okay, here it will be like this. It will be like this here. Okay. So what is the difference other than the Wi-Fi symbol you can see in these two pictures? Actually, this should be covered in today's topic, but in anyways, you have already studied this, right? What else you can feel? Space in the mouth. Very good, Sister Asna. Okay, so that exactly is the reason the Qaf is becoming heavy. Okay, because the Qaf, the back part of the tongue is raising and it is hitting the soft palate. You know, the space is there compared to the Kaf. Okay, so what happens if space is there? The sound here, it can change its direction. Okay, and it will hit and it will come down. There will be a mechanism will happen here. What is that mechanism called? You know, you can see like the image, it will be going like this. The sound direction will change. And can anyone remember? Can anyone tell me what is that thing that will happen? Yeah, echo will happen. Okay, that means the fattening of the letter will happen. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I just want you to have an idea that there is a space difference in the Qaf and the Kaf. Okay, inshallah, we will cover that more in detail in the Sifa chapter. Why al-Jawf is categorized as Makhraj al-Muqaddar? It's a point and like, but it's no specific point, empty space. No, I saw an answer here. Yeah, so we don't have a specify a certain area. Okay, yani if you take the makhraj of the alif madiyya, waw madiyya, or ya madiyya, give me the what all mechanisms are happening in the formation of those letters. What all mechanisms other than the sound is traveling through the jawf? Other than this, what do you know about the sound formation in the mad letters? Let's see, what's your opinion? Yeah. Other letters. Tell me one by one. Alif is opening. So opening of what? Opening of jaw. Okay. I will just say mouth opening. Okay, that means for the alif, the mouth will be opened. Okay, for the alif. Then yeah, it's the second point is vibration, let's say. Okay, but let me finish this. Sister Asna, she told for the opening, alif is opening of the mouth. So for the kesra, yani ya madiyya and waw madiyya, yeah, for the ya madiyya, the dropping of the jaw. Okay, for the waw madiyya, the circling of the lips, you all know. That means the mouth opening, it is different in all the three letters. Okay, now the point of Sister Safa, like the vibration. So vibration, it is the same in all the three mother letters, right? Yes or no? Yeah, okay. The mechanism earlier, the first question was like the mechanism of sound formation in the sukun, it is collision. Okay, so the mechanism of sound formation in the mother letter, it is vibration. Okay, it's a general fact, it's a fact. Okay, the vibration. So that means for the alif, for the ya, for the waw madiyya, it is all same. So without the vibration of the mother letter, there is without the vibration from the vocal cord, there is no mother letter. That means the vibration of the mother letter or vibration of the vocal cord is mandatory or is necessary. Understood? There is no other way without the vibration of the vocal cord. Okay, so that's it. So which one is actually responsible for the formation? Okay, now only two are there. Is there any other difference? Anything else? Okay, I will give a clue. Hope you can read my handwriting. Notice the difference. Hmm. What is the difference? And not sound direction. I have given the clue here. Tongue is raised in Yamadiya. Very good, sister. Aidia, Mariam, Asia. Good. Okay. So yeah, Yamadiya, the tongue will be raised. Very good. So what about the alif and the tongue? I will write the tongue position. Okay, right. Let's say the tongue position. For the alif, for the ya, for the waw. For the alif, Sister Alia, she told that for the ya, the tongue will be raised in the middle. So what about the alif and the waw? Hmm? No answer? I hope you all are typing the answer. Neutral position for alif. I will say the tongue is flattened. Okay. Maybe what you might have thought about is the same, but I will write as, yeah, for the waw madiyya, the back part of the tongue will be slightly raised, right? Back part of the tongue will be slightly raised. So if you keep the mouth open, you won't be able to make the back part of the tongue raised. Or if you keep the dropping of the lower jaw, you will not be able to make the alif flat. You will not be able to make the tongue flattened. That means if you have to give the proper accent of the alif, proper direction of the alif, the three factors will depend it. The first one, the mouth opening, the TMJ joint, the mouth will be opened. We know that the mouth opened means it is not like I have to open the mouth. No, it is the TMJ opening, right? This is the basic thing. So the TMJ will be opened. The tongue has to be relaxed. That means there is no raising in the back part, no raising in the middle part, not raising the tip of the tongue. The tongue will be relaxed, okay, along with the vibration from the vocal cord. These three, if it is present in the correct way, then you will get the proper direction of the alif, right? Same for the ya madiyya. We have to drop the any vibration from the vocal cord will be there. First thing. The second, dropping of the lower jaw. If you drop the lower jaw, the middle part of the tongue will raise automatically. We cannot drop the lower jaw and we cannot make the tongue flatten. It will happen naturally. Okay. So what do you think? Who is responsible for the formation of mother letter greater? Is the mouth opening plays an important role, or the vibration, or the tongue position? Who is deciding? We cannot say mouth opening is deciding, or vibration is deciding, or tongue position is deciding. No, we cannot generalize which one is responsible for the formation of the sound in the mother letters. Understood? We can just say the mechanism of the formation is vibration. But if you take how the sound is produced from the mechanism, other than the mechanism, how the sound is produced, we cannot decide who plays the important role. Whether it is the mouth, whether it is the halq, whether it is the tongue, all collectively contribute to the formation of mother letter. Yes. So that is the reason the jawf, it is considered as makhrajul muqaddar. It is approximate. We cannot say from here exactly the sound is coming. No, we cannot say. But whereas the halq letters, the lisan letters, the shafatan letters, or the khayshum, they have their own specific area from where that sound is coming out. For example, let's say the letter kaf. The kaf, the sound will come only if you raise the aqsal lisan to the junction of the hard palate to soft palate. If you take the letter meme, the sound, the meme will come only if you use the two lips from its dry area. Understood? So that is why jawf is called as makhrajul muqaddar. It is approximate. We cannot say who is responsible, whether it is the mouth, whether it is the halq, whether it is the throat. Understood? So that is the reason. We cannot specify the reason for the formation of the mother letters. Is it clear? That is the reason why al-jawf is categorized as makhraj al-muqaddar. Okay? Is it clear? Specific makhraj allathathu kondan. It is not enough. Mother letters, you can't specify the actual place. Yes, very good. Okay? That's the reason. Okay. How to find the makhraj of a letter? It's a hardcore theory question. So combining with a hamza, with a haraka followed by the letter, with a sukun or shadda, makhraj of where the sound ends. Yes, very good. The fa, hamza fa. So f or fa, which any haraka, whatever it is. So where the sound ends, that is the makhraj of the letter. That's it. Okay, if it is a sukun. So next question. Hamza and ha has different qualities even though they are from the same makhraj. Why? Because the sound of air and no, that is not the reason. Hamza is very strong, closing the vocal cord, opening in the city as a sifa shidda, that is the blocking sound, and jahar blocking of the air. Ha is produced by vibration of the vocal cords and they're extremely close to each other. There it made it wrong. Until here it was correct. Ha is produced by the vibration of the vocal cords when they are extremely closer together. Extremely closer together, it's not a correct one. Okay, they are partially opened. That is the best way to write the answer. Okay, if you write extremely closer as partially opened, okay, because when you do the letter ha, if you make the vocal cords completely relaxed, it will be like a ha, ha, see, ha, ha, ha. This is wrong. We have to have a partial opening in the vocal cords so that there will be a slight strength in the vocal cord. Ha, ha, ha. See, ha, ha, who, he. Understood? So that is the reason. And the makhraj of the ha, makhraj of the hamza, it is the shutting of the vocal cord. Whereas the makhraj of the ha, it is the partial opening. So that is the reason. If you partially open means what? The makhraj is little bit weaker and it allows the flow of air along with the sound of the letter. Whereas for the hamza, the makhraj is completely shut. Okay, it is completely closed. That is the reason. Okay, so that is why even though they are from the same makhraj, they are having different qualities. Now differentiate specific makhraj and the approximate makhraj. Specific makhraj, it is a simple question. You can just go through it. So what I would say, the specific makhraj means we can specify the articulation point, whereas in the approximate, it is we cannot specify the exact point from where the articulation is happening. Okay, or you can say from the letters of the specific makhraj, we can have with different, and they are consonants. Okay, whereas the letters from the approximate makhraj or the sounds from the approximate makhraj, they are either the vowels or they are used for extension only. That means the mad letters. Understood? Then the mechanism also you can write. The mechanism of the specific makhraj, it can be either collision, or sometimes it can be vibration also, or sometimes generally it is collision. Okay, but the sound formation of the approximate makhraj letters, it is always vibration. Okay, that is the mother letter. So like that you can write any one of the differences. Theoretical and practical tajweed, of course, the theoretical tajweed means the acquiring the knowledge of the tajweed, whereas the practical tajweed means the application of the knowledge of tajweed. The ruling, it is fardu ain, the other is fardu kifaya. Okay, the theoretical tajweed is fardu kifaya, whereas the practical tajweed, it is fardu ain. Okay, you can write two differences. Most of the sisters have wrote that. Barakallah fikun. Now, wasatul halq and wasatul lisan. Wasatul halq, it is the middle part of the throat, or it can say it is the specific makhraj from the halq. Whereas the wasatul lisan, it is the specific makhraj from the lisan. From the wasatul halq, we have the letters ain and ha, whereas from the wasatul lisan, we have three letters, the jim, shin, and ya. Okay, most of the letters they have written there. There are dash specific makharij and dash letters coming from the lisan. We have 10 specific makharij and 18 letters. Okay, why it is 5 here? It is 10. Okay, not 5, it is 10. Next question, sound depending on a specific or approximate articulation point is dash. Okay, it's a definition of a letter. Okay, so answer is letter. Okay, letter is a sound that depends on a specific articulation point or an approximate articulation point. Okay, dash and dash are those letters which have both shidda and hams. It is the kaf and the ta. Dash has number of sifa, greatest number of sifa. It is for the letter ra. Dash is the strongest letter. It is letter tha. Some sisters, they have written like the both. No, it is the tha. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Yes, I will go through the questions again. Why was the second letter, second answer letter? What's the question? This one? No. The sound depending on a specific or approximate articulation point is this. Sister Amla, it's a harf. The definition of the harf. Harf means a letter. Okay. So what is a letter? A letter is a sound. It's a sound. Okay. The sound that is depending on a specific articulation point. That means we studied the makharijul huruf, right? The articulation point of letter, it can be either specific or approximate, right? So the sound produced from the articulation points is what we call as a letter. That's it. Okay, it is kind of twisted, and it is the exact definition of a letter. Okay. Yeah. Strongest letter, it is the tha, not the bod. Okay, not the bod. Most answer is tha, bod. No, it is the tha. Okay, if you why it is strong? Because it got all the sifaat strong. Okay, not even one weak sifa. That is the reason. Okay, inshallah, I will study that in the category of letters after the sifats. Match to the specific makharij. Letter Sad, it is tarful lisan. Alif Madiyya, it is jawf. Letter Mim, it is shafatan. Letter Dad, it is hafatul lisan. Ya ghayr Madiyya, it is the wasatul lisan. Ya Madiyya, it will be jawf. Ya ghayr Madiyya, it is wasatul lisan. I think lots of answers got wrong here. Okay, it is ya ghayr Madiyya. Ghayr means without, Madiyya means letter, with extension. Ya without mad. Okay, that is the ya consonant, ya letter itself. Lam hafatul lisan. Then hamza, it is the aqsal halq, right? Then qaf, it is aqsal lisan. Fa, it is shafatan. Kha, it is adna al halq. That's it. Okay, so 10 questions, I think. Explain the mechanism of a mutaharrika. Yeah, so here actually the mechanism of mutaharrika, some sisters, they have just written the point like this, how the practical application. Actually, it should be, the question should be mechanism of sound formation, then you might have written that properly. But some sisters, they have wrote it correctly. like the mutaharrik letter is produced by moving apart the articulation point. That means the separation from a strong bonding. Okay, the separation from a strong bonding accompanied by the proper mouth movement. That is the mechanism of mutaharrika. Let's say, don't skip the part after a strong bonding. Okay, separation after a strong bonding. That is the mechanism of mutaharrika. Separation after a strong bonding. Okay, along with the proper mouth movement. Yani here it is asked about the mutaharrika. So if it is a fatha, we have to keep the mouth open. If it is a kasra, we have to drop the lower jaw. If it is a dhamma, we have to circle the lips properly. Okay, so this is the good answer, but a slight correction. Moving apart articulation, yani you can write separation. That is the mechanism we studied. We studied four mechanisms: collision, vibration, separation, and friction. So you have to write the exact the mechanism. So mutaharrik letters is produced by separation after a strong bonding, accompanied by the proper mouth movement. Okay. Example: the letter me is makhraj is joining the dry part of the lips. The lips are kept closed and then produce a haraka of alif. The mouth is opened while separating the closed lips. For pronouncing a dhamma, the kasra should be given by lowering the jaw at the articulation points are separated. Yes, good. Barakallah fiik. Okay. Write answers to below questions by checking the picture. Okay, so we'll go to the questions now. Questions. Yeah, check the question below based on this image. Okay, so you can see it is the wasatul lisan has raised to above. Okay, so there is a small gap in the makhraj. So from the wasatul lisan, you can already decide whether it is either jeen, sheen, or ya. Now, you know, this kind of air thing is shown. So you can clearly identify it is the letter sheen. So makhraj of which letter? So here the question is about the letter. You can write the letter sheen. Which sifa? It is the tafashi. Which general makhraj? The main makhraj, that is the lisan. The specific makhraj, it is the wasatul lisan. Which part of the tongue? It is again wasatul lisan. The specific makhraj you can write the middle part of the tongue along with the upper roof with a small gap in the middle. Okay, you can explain here. Write the complete sifaat of the letter. You can write it is a hams letter, it is a rakhawa letter, it is an istifal, it is an infitah, it is an idlaq. Sorry, it is an ismat. Then the special sifa tafashi. Okay, which are the other letters coming from the same makhraj of the letter? It is the jeen and the ya. How their articulation differs from the given letter. Okay, I will go to the question later. Let me finish this question. Okay, so it is the sanad of Imam Asim. Okay, so you can see some colored area here. So from Allah Azza wa Jal, through Jibreel alayhi salam, it has reached to Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam has taught lots of Sahaba, and among them the two are Ali bin Abi Talib and Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. And then from them, from Ali bin Abi Talib, the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, Zareen Habish al-Asadi, and then Abu Abdurrahman bin Habib al-Sulami. They got two different teachers. From these two teachers, Imam Asim, he studied. Okay, so here it is Imam Asim, and this Imam Asim, he have two students. The first Rawi, it is given here as Shu'bah bin Ayyash, and now here Hafs bin Kufi. Okay, that's it. Okay, so three answers: Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Imam Asim, Imam Hafs. That's it. So these are the questions. So check the question below. Makharij of which letters are shown here? It is of the waw madiyya and it is waw ghair madiyya. Okay, two letters, waw madiyya and waw ghair madiyya. Differentiate between the articulation. Okay, check the image again. Write the letters articulated using that part. Okay, check the image only. I didn't write which teeth, right? It's okay. Now we will move to the discussion. We'll just go through a few questions. 1 hour is over, right? Okay, khair, we will take it as a revision. Alhamdulillah. But from next week onwards, we won't be having this much questions as simple. Any very 5 or maybe 7 questions will be there so that we can finish within the 20 minutes. That's our quota. Okay. Yes, let's go back. How the articulation point of the sheen differs from that of the Jim and the ya. No difference in articulation point. Articulation differs. Okay, how here it was okay. So everyone wrote it like this. So what the question is like how their articulation differs from the given letter means how the sound is different. And from the same makhraj we have other two letters also, right? The sheen is there, and now how the jim and the ya is coming from the same makhraj. Okay, so it is the change in the articulation area itself. And it's not the articulation area, but the mechanism happening at the articulation point is different for the jim and the ya. For the jim, it will be completely closed. For the ya, the opening will be greater than that of the sheen. That's why two different letters, two different slifa are happening to those letters. Okay, so you have to write the answer like that. If you write like this, it is 0. Okay. Okay. So how the articulation of these two letters? See, like this, you have to write earlier the sheen with the jim and the ya. Wow, the articulation point is al-jawf, is the circling of the two inner lips. Meme, why it is meme here? The wow madiyya jawf from the lips, wow madiyya vibration of the vocal cord, empty cavity of the mouth ending with a circle lip, that was articulate circles. Okay, the makhraj is different, yes. Okay, so what about the other thing? You can write about the mechanism. The mechanism of the sound formation of the wow ghair madiyya, it is the collision, whereas the wow madiyya, it is the vibration. Okay, so like that you can write anything. Okay, so that's it. Alhamdulillah. So the letters, upper incisors, sa, dhal, dha, fa, lower incisors, sin, za, sad. Okay, ghain, kha, subhanallah. Why it is ghain, kha for the incisors? Upper incisor, pa, dal, ta. Okay, pa, dal, ta also you can write, it's fine. Dha, dal, sa, fa. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Any other answer? No. Okay, don't write raw. Okay, raw we will not reach to the teeth. It is just the starting point of the gums. Okay, alhamdulillah. So, any doubt regarding our revision question? Shall we move to the Sifaat? Okay, everyone refreshed? You want a break? We will take break in 20 minutes, inshallah. Barakallah. Okay, so last class we taught about the Sifaat, the characteristics of a letter. So we studied about what are the characteristics, what are the division of the characteristics. We started about the different perspective of the characteristics. Okay, the first one we started was the perspective on the air, right? And we studied what is how that the perspective of the air, how it is changing in different letters. It is depending on the what. After match the following, no more. Why? What happened? Your question didn't appear? The questions didn't appear or not? I don't know what happened. Inshallah, because I didn't add any add-ons there. Just this the question. Inshallah, I will let you know. It kept repeating. Let's see, inshallah. Okay, after the class, I'll discuss that, inshallah. Okay, alhams. So we studied about alhams, right? So again, okay, answer me. What is the determining factor for the hams and the jahr for a letter? What determines the sifa on the perspective of air? The vocal cord. Okay. So then again, the vocal cord in turn, the opening or the closing of the vocal cord in turn depends on the as class we studied that we cannot open and close. Yeah, strength at the makhraj. Yeah, without a question mark, Sister Tanafis. Okay. Yes, strength at the makhraj. Okay. So that means if you give the proper bonding, okay, then yani, proper bonding, it will give the needed strength to the letter. Okay. For example, the strength of a letter depends on the strength of the Sifaat. Okay. The strength of the Sifaat, it might be either it will be a strong Sifa, either it will be a weak Sifa. What does that mean? For example, let's take a person. Sometimes we will talk about that person. This thing is that person, this person, she has that quality that I don't like at all. Maybe for a small, silly thing, she will quickly get angry. Okay. Lot of, we are just human beings, right? We have lots of plus and minus points, right? Maybe it won't be the other persons, they won't like our qualities. So what they will say, okay, this is a minus point for her. This thing in this quality in her, I don't like that. Or sometimes we will say, this person, she has this quality that I like that very much. Why you are expressing that, that happiness in that words? Why? Because you think that quality in that sister is a plus point to her, right? Understood. So there are some qualities which give strength to the letter, whereas there are some qualities in a letter which weakens that letter. Okay, that is what mentions, that is what is determining the strength of a letter. Last class, we studied that the vocal cords, if they are kept open, the air will be releasing along with the sound of the letter. Okay, let's say letter the sheen. Okay, for the sheen, if you say ash, okay, you will be able to feel a lot of air in your hand. Okay, but you can feel that weakness in that letter also. Even though you are giving the proper strength, that letter itself is a kind of weakness. Letter has its own weakness. So because of that weakness, the vocal cords will be separated. We cannot close the sheen. We cannot do the sheen by closing the vocal cord. Understood? How much you try, if you give the proper bonding, if you give, or if you mimic the sound, maybe you can do. Not for the sheen, of course. Maybe some other letter you can do. Let's say the letter Z. Okay, if you give the proper strength to the letter, that letter will be Jahr. But if you are weakening the makhraj of that letter Z, it will be almost like a Z, or Z. Now you can feel the air. It is not the proper sound of the Z. For the Z, it is a Jahr. That means the vocal cords will be coming closer. Vocal cords will be together, that no air will be released. Instead, we can feel a strong vibration. What is the reason? Because of the strength in the makhraj. Jahr is a quality of a letter that gives strength to the letter, whereas the hums is a quality of the letter where it gives weakening. It gives weak quality to the letter. Understood? So that is the reason. Remember in the revision question, I asked you which is the strongest letter. It is the letter Bo. It is not the letter Bod. The only difference between the Bo and the Bod is that the Bo has every qualities, the strong qualities, whereas for the Bod, it has only weak quality. Okay, we will study that inshallah as we move forward. Okay, so this is how we have to determine in the strength of a letter. The strength of a letter depends on the strength of the qualities. We have strong quality and weak quality. Every special sifaat of a letter, it is the strong quality itself, except for the sifa lean. The lean itself means what? It is the softening. It is a weak sifa. Okay. All the other special sifa, they are the strong sifa to the letter. And from the opposite sifa, one sifa will be a strong sifa, whereas the other sifa will be a weak sifa. Okay. You can see here the, okay, this one we didn't cover, right? Okay, so we were talking about until here, last class. Now we will talk about the hums of the letter. Hums, again, I'm coming back. The makhraj will be weak. There will be weakness at the makhraj. Whether it is the fa, whether it is the ha, whether it is the tha, whether it is the ha, sheen, kha, sad, seen, kaf, ta, whatever it is. Okay, so all these letters, the makhraj is a kind of weakness. It doesn't mean we have to give weakness and we will just change the letter itself. No, if you give proper the proper bonding at the makhraj, the letter will give its exact qualities. Okay, the letter will show its true color. Understood? So that is how we have to pronounce the letter with proper bonding. The proper bonding means whether it is a weak sifa, it will show its weakness. Whether it is a strong sifa, it will show its strength. Understood? So for all the fahathahu shakhsun sakat letters, what happens is that the vocal cords are separated. So vocal cords are separated means there is a chance for the releasing of air. The air will come out from the vocal cord and it will come at the makhraj. At the makhraj, the sound will be produced and the air that comes at the makhraj along with the sound, it will go out. Understood? Let's go to the example, then it will be more clear for you. Okay, let's take another example other than the kaf and the ta. Let's take the letter sheen itself. Okay, see, let's see here. Imagine the vocal cords are separated here. Okay, the vocal cords are here. Of course, because the sheen here, the strength is not that much. Okay, that means there is weakness at the makhraj. So what happens? It will result in the separation of the vocal cord. Vocal cords will be separated and this will cause the release of air. So air will come and it will come here, right? It will be here. Now at the makhraj, what happens? The sound will be produced. So along with the sound, what happens? The sound will be produced and along with the sound, the air will be releasing. The sound, air together will go out for the letter sheen. Understood? It is how the mechanism of the hums letters are happening. Okay, along with the air, the sound will also be releasing. Understood? This is how the hums will be happening. Now, if you check, you have already studied about the sifaat of the letters, and we know that among these letters, there can be a jahr, there can be a shidda letter, or there can be a rakhava letter also. Okay, so if you take here, فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ, these are the letters of hums. The letters of hums we will call as mahmusah. Okay, Imam Ibn al-Jazari in his poem, he is saying that mahmusuha, mahmusuha, fahathahu shakhsun sakat. Okay, the letters mahmus means the letters of hums. The letters of hums are in the term fahathahu shakhsun sakat. Okay, so Imam is saying that. So here, fa, ha, tha, ha, sheen, kha, sad, seen. All these letters until here, they are having rakhava, whereas the kaf and the ta, they are having shidda. Okay, so this is the question, one question in the revision question, that there are the dash and dash are the letters that are having hums and shidda. So they were the letter kaf and the ta, right? So we will go to the mechanism of the formation, sound formation in the kaf and the ta. It is a little bit important. Why? Because they have two opposite different qualities. That means, as I told, the kaf and the ta, they have shidda and they have hums. Okay, even though we didn't went to the sifa of the kaf and the ta and the shidda, inshallah we will cover it here so that it will be easy for you once we are covering there also. Okay, let's go back. So if you see here, okay, about the letter kaf and the ta. Okay, so what is it happening here? Let's say the letter kaf. Okay, so when you are doing the letter kaf, we know the makhraj of the letter kaf. What is the makhraj? The aqsal lisan. It will be rising and it will be coming in contact with at the junction of the upper roof, the soft palate and the hard palate here, right? So once the mechanism is happening, what happens is that the sound will be released, right? But how the sound will be released? You will not be able to hear the sound. Try to do with me. Ak, ak, right? Ak. We studied that how to find the makhraj of a letter. You give a sukoon to the letter and then you precede a hamza with any haraka. Let's say it's a simple, we can keep a hamza with a fatha, so it is easy. Hamza, fatha, kaf, sukoon, ak. If I say ak, the sukoon, the collision, the sound you won't be able to hear, but you will get a feel that I did the makhraj. But instead of the sound won't be able to come out. Why? Because the makhraj is completely closed, right? But what happens? Earlier, remember the sheen, we discussed about the mechanism of the hams letters. What happens? From the vocal cord, because the makhraj is a little bit weaker, the vocal cords are separated and the air will come and it will get stuck here. Okay, so if I do the makhraj, the sound will be blocked and the flow of the air is actually blocked. Why? Because the makhraj is completely closed. But anyways, if it is the letter of the kaf with a sukoon, or if it is a haraka, we have to part and we have to move. So once we are parting the makhraj, what happens? The air that got stuck at the makhraj, it will be releasing. That is what you can see in the animation here. Of course, it is a little bit faster. I don't know how to make it slow. Okay, but you can imagine. Okay, see, you can see the arrow in the beginning. So the arrow is what showing the flow of air. And then at the makhraj, it will stop and it will get stuck at there. Okay, and then on parting, the air that got at stuck at the makhraj, it will be releasing. Ak, ak, ak. The same for the ta. At. The hums is the sound of the air you will hear only you part the makhraj. Okay, there are lots of mistakes that can happen in the formation. Inshallah, that will cover in the Lahan chapter. Now we will quickly move to the next portion, inshallah. Okay, so what you have to take care, the important point in the sound formation of the kaf and the ta is that the first you have to do the shidda. Okay, how to do the makhraj? We have to do the collision. So once you do the collision, you can see here now what happens. The makhraj will be completely closed. So that is shidda. The makhraj will be completely closed. So you cannot say yakfuru, yak. Can you hear the sound? Yak. Here, why along with the kaf, the hams is releasing? Because you are not giving the proper shidda at the makhraj. When you do the kaf sukoon, the makhraj will be completely closed. You won't be able to hear any sound, let alone the air. Okay, even if it is the air, even if it is the sound of the kaf, you won't be able to let the sound out. Why? Because it is shidda. It is completely blocked. Yek. Now I have to go to the next letter, fa. Yek, fu. Understood? So the timing of the letter kaf sukoon, it is the shidda itself. How much time you are giving to a shidda letter, that much time you have to give to the kaf, but the sound will be blocked at that time. But once you are parting and then you are moving to the next letter, you will be able to hear the sound of the hums. Okay. So the letters of hams are fahathahu, shakhsun, sakat. Okay, the letters are called as mahmusa. Now the opposite sifa, it is the jahar. Again, it is exactly the qualities will be the opposite way. That means the letters are fahathahu, shakhsun, sakat, letters other than, all the letters other than. From the 29 letters, including 29, 28, including the mad letters, we can say they are the jahar letters. Okay, all the qualities when we are explaining, it is not the 28 letters, it is the 29 letters. So you can keep the way as such. Yani the mad letters, they also have their own qualities. They have jahar quality. Okay, so jahar quality, that means what it means to appear. it is the literal meaning, the word meaning, the Arabic, the term, the al-jahr, it means sometimes it means the loud also. Okay, it gives the term loud meaning, or it can say to appear. But in tajweed, what we need, it is the imprisonment of running of breath. Running of breath means it is the air itself. The air will be got stuck at the makhraj. Okay, why it is happening? Because the air is not stuck at the makhraj, sorry, the air won't be getting released along with the sound of the letter. What is the reason? The reason is because the vocal cords are shut. Okay, the vocal cords are closer. You can see in the image, the vocal cords will be closer. See here, you can see there is a hairline gap, right? Why it is so? We always say that for the jahr, the vocal cords will be completely shut. Okay, but if the sound is completely shut, it means no sound at all. So for the vibration of the vocal cord to happen, they will be coming closer together. Okay, so along with it, a slight air will release, but it will be used for the vibration of the vocal cord alone. There won't be that much strength in the air that is released. It will come out and then we will feel that sound. It will not happen. The vocal cords will be coming together, okay, and then they will vibrate. And this vibration is what we can feel in the throat when we are doing the letters. All the letters other than فَحَثَّهُ شَخْصٌ سَكَتْ. Okay, if you take the letter Z, if you take the letter Zal, if you take the letter Da, okay, if you say if you feel with the throat, you can feel a strong vibration. There won't be any air. But if you don't give the proper bonding in the makhraj, the strength of the letter you won't be able to give, and the vocal cords will be separated, and along with the it will be understood, the air will release, or arrow will be ar. Can you feel? Even though the sister, she gives the proper makhraj, the sound that is coming out will not be proper. What is the reason? Because the vocal cords are separated. She is not giving strength in the makhraj. That is the reason vocal cords are separated. The air is releasing. So if you get a correction from the teacher that for this letter, your vocal you have air in this letter. So what is the reason? The reason is because your vocal cords are separated. It is relaxed. Your vocal cords are kind of relaxed. Okay. For the jahr letter, the vocal cords will be together. It will give a strong vibration. Whereas for the sin, okay, then again, this question can come to your mind. Only if you vibrate the vocal cord, you will be able to hear the sound, right? But in the hums letters also, a slight vibration will be there, but we won't be able to feel it. Okay, the vocal cords are relaxed, and through that, the air will be releasing, and this air will come to the makhraj of the mahmusa letter. Mahmusa, that means the letter itself. And then along with the sound of the mahmusa, the air will be releasing. Okay, this is how the hums and the jahr of a letter is happening. Okay, here the sin and the za both are from the same makhraj. They have different qualities. So what is the reason? The sin, it has weakness at the makhraj, so it causes the vocal cord separated, and it will result in the release of air along with the sound of the letter sin. Whereas the letter za, it is much stronger than the letter sin. See, you can feel the sound of the letter s, as, s, as, s, as. You can feel that strength. Okay, that strength is what causing the vocal cord to close to come each other. You repeat after me. S, as, s, as. Do you feel that strength? Even if it is in the vocal cord, of course, you will feel the vocal cord, then only it will close it on its own. It will close. Do you feel that difference in the strength? That is what resulting the hums and the jahr. Okay, barakallah fikun. Okay, so we will just go through the strong and weak, and then we will take a break quickly, inshallah. So the strength of the sifa, it is the strong and the weak. I told you. So what makes it strength? Of course, the makhraj of the letter itself gives the strength and the weakness to the letter. It mainly depends on how we are giving the proper bonding. Okay, the proper bonding of the letter, you have to keep that in mind. The hums, it is the weakness to the letter, whereas the jahr, it gives strength to the letter. For each and every sifa we are covering from now on, we have to determine whether it is a weak sifa or whether it is a strong sifa. Okay, so it is just a comparison. You can go through that later. And after this, we will do the second perspective of the sound, inshallah, after the break. So today we will just take 10 minutes only. You can go, those who are here, you can quickly go and do the salah and you can come back after 10 minutes, inshallah. Okay, jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope everyone is back. Alhamdulillah. So we will start now. Okay. So now the second perspective. Okay, remember what is this perspective? It is the angle we are going to see the letter through it, right? So if you see something through a red colored glass, okay, it will be completely red, right? If you see through a green colored glass, it will be something green, like that. So whichever angle you are seeing that letter, we are going to call that letter in that name also. Okay, for example, you are able to see the screen, right? Yes or no? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so the letters of Rakhawa we will call as Rikhwa, or sometimes this Rikhwa itself they will use to call for the name of the sifa itself. But Imam Ibn al-Jazari used the term Rikhwa in his bab, and he is saying the letters of tawassut as between the shadida and between the shadida and the rikhwa. So shadida means the letters of shidda. So the rikhwa, it is as the letters of rakhawa. Okay, so the sifa name you can call as rakhawa, shidda, and tawassut. Okay, and this again it is coming under the sifaat of opposite. Earlier we studied the perspective on the air. It is an opposite sifa, but we had only two. Whereas in the perspective of sound, we have three. So how come it is three? Inshallah, we will go through that. The first one, we will cover the shidda. So what is this shidda means? Shidda means the strong. That means the strength. Okay, so as you can imagine, this is a strong sifa. That means when you are pronouncing a letter with strength, with the shidda, that letter or that makhraj is going to be a little bit strong. Okay. So what is the applied definition for the shidda? As to tajweed, what does shidda means? Shidda means the imprisonment of the running of sound. Earlier, we used the term for jahr as the imprisonment of the running of the breath. So you can use there the term breath or the air. Here you have to use the term sound itself. So what is the sound means? The sound means the what you can hear. Okay, we will do some kind of articulation. Okay, and you will be able to hear some kind of sound. Okay, you will receive through your ears. Okay, so that sound, it will be cut. That means when you are pronouncing a shidda letter, you won't be able to hear any sound at all. The sound will be cut. The sound will be blocked. The sound will be, or we can say the flow of sound is blocked or restricted. You can use any term. Understood? So why it is happening? Because due to the strong reliance on the articulation point. It is the same reason as earlier. But here, we will not talk about the vocal cords. Okay? Here, the strong reliance on the articulation point is one factor. The most important factor is that the gap between the articulating parts. You know, for collision to happen, we need two. Okay, in order to, if I have to clap the hands, I need one hand and another hand. I won't be able to produce the sound with one hand only. Okay, just like that, once you enter from the lisan letters, especially when you are giving the specific makhraj of a letter, you will be having two articulating parts. Okay, the X will be raising and hitting to Y. Like that, you know, the back part of the tongue, or wasful lisan, or the purple lisan, or even the shafatan, whatever you are doing, you will be having the two parts, right? So just like that, we have the articulating parts at a makhraj. So it depends, yani the sifat of sound depends on how much gap is there between the articulating parts. If the gap is 0, that means there is no gap at all. That means the two articulating parts are so close together that there is no space in between them. They are completely closed. The makhraj is completely blocked. The sound flow is completely blocked. Those letters we will call as shadida. Shadida means the letters of shidda. Which are those letters? The letter hamza, the letter jim, dal, qaf, qa, ba, kaf, and ta. So what does the shidda means? If you do the sukun of this letter, you won't be able to hear any sound. A, ad, ad, up, up, ab, ak, at. So how much you try to extend the sound, you won't be. It is impossible. That is what we call as shidda. Okay, as explained earlier, this quality, it gives strength to the letter. So shidda is a strong sifa. Okay, so then again, if there are sakin, we won't be able to produce further sound. When you are doing the timing, you are doing the collision, that's it. At that time, you are producing a sound, but that sound is stuck in the makhraj. It is not able to get released. Understood? It is stuck at the makhraj. Okay? So these articulation points, they are completely closed. So they are called as shadida or shidda letters. You can hear the Arabic term for the letters of shidda, we are called as shadida. Okay? Sheen, dal, ya, ha. Okay? Shadida. So these shidda letters means what? The sound will be blocked at the makhraj. But they are so strong that they will find some way to solve this shidda. Okay? They will find some way. Okay? If we take the hamza, jim, dal, 3 plus 2 plus 3, 8 letters. Okay? These 8 letters, they have its own way to solve the shidda. Before that, we will see these shidda letters we can classify into 3 categories: qutb-jad, hamza, and kaf and ta. You know what is the reason, right? Qutb-jad plus hamza, they are majhura. What is majhura? Majhura means the letters of jahr. Whereas the kaf and ta, those 2 letters, they are mahmusa. So this shadida, they can be either majhura or they can be either mahmusa. Okay? Why we are explaining this? Why we are saying this? We know that it's just majhura and mahmusa because the sound formation is different in these letters. That is the reason itself. Okay? I told you all the letters of shadida, they have their own way of solving the shidda. They will find some way. For the qutb-jad letters, what they will do? They will do a mechanism. You know the mechanism, that is the qalqala. Okay, you all know the mechanism. What is qalqala? Qalqala means a strong disturbance or a jerking or something strong will cause a disturbance in the makhraj so that the sound will be released. Okay, the exact reason is what? Let's say, a few people are stuck in a room. Okay, few people are stuck in a room, and among those peoples, there are very strong peoples. Okay, they will come here and they will just break the door and they will release. They will go out. That's it. Okay. For the shidda letters, these 5 letters, they are very strong that they will cause a disturbance at the exit, at the makhraj point, at the articulation point, and then they will release their sound. This mechanism is actually what we define as qalqala. You know what the qalqala means? Qalqala, the term itself indicates the not 8 there. We are now talking about the 5 letters. You're not able to see the screen. What you are seeing is the qalqala screen, right? In the qutb-jad. Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, the 8 letters, they will have different ways, but now I am talking about the 5 letters. These 5 letters, they are solving the shidda through qalqala. Okay, from the 8 letters of shidda, these 5 letters, they solve the shidda quality through qalqala. Okay, the hamza and the kaf and ta, they have different mechanism and different processes are there. Okay, so this qutubajat, it is exactly as I told, they are very strong that they are able to break the makhraj. Okay, and then they will release the sound. This is exactly what has called. That is just like, you know, the water we are keeping in the stove, and then we will keep it to high flame. The water will boil. If we close with the lid will jump and then it will close. Then again jump, it will close. It is just this will happen. It is exactly from the qalaqala. The sound is the term the qalqala has given to this mechanism. Okay. So what happens here for the qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal? We will quickly go through them. Okay, first we will see the makhraj of these these 5 letters. Then you will be able to understand how this qalqala is happening in these 3 letters. Okay, the main reason, of course, it is because of the shidda itself. What is shidda? The shidda means the blocking of the sound. Why? Because the makhraj is completely shut. There is no gap at all. Okay. So if the makhraj, that here, aqsal lisan is with the soft palate. So if you do the makhraj correctly, there won't be any release of sound. So what about air? Will air pass through here? Now we are talking about the shidda, that means the blocking of the sound. What about air? Air will release or not? What do you think? Or you feel like air can also release? Not for qaf. The qaf, we know that it is a jahar letter. But I'm just asking a general question. Okay, for a letter which is a shidda, whether it can be a hams. Yes, it can be a hams also. We have the letter kaf and ta. But the mechanism will be different. When we are talking about the qaf, qa, ba, jim, dal, these 5 letters, they are not hams at all. They are jahar. That means they have the blocking of the sound. They have the blocking of the air. They have 2 strong sifat together. They are the strongest one among the, let's say, remember, imagine the people who are stuck in a room. Okay. So among them, there are weak people or also there. There are strong people also there. So only the strong people can break the door. So from the family of the ajid buckets, these qaf, ta, ba, jim, dal, they are very strong that they can break the door and they will cause the jerking in the makhraj, and then they will release the sound with them. So how this jerking is happening, inshallah, we will discuss about the qalqala mechanism later in the special sifat area. Now we will just go through this makhraj. Okay. So about the qaf, up, ko, up, ko. What happens when the makhraj is, the back part of the tongue will be raising and it will be hitting the soft palate. After the disturbance, only the tongue is separating. Okay, only the tongue is separating. Don't move the jaw. If you move the jaw, what happens? It will be like a akko. Oh, no, akko, 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 akko. Okay, so this is how the disturbance in the makhraj will happen. Same as the ko, up, po, up, po, up. This is the shidda. It is the blocking of the makhraj. That means, remember the ko, it is the powerful lisan. It will be raising and it will be hitting the incisor, the root of the incisors. Okay, so that means the makhraj will be completely shut. There is no way for the sound to release. And about the ko, all the letters are, all the sifat are strong. So it is the strongest letter. It can easily break the makhraj and it will release the sound out. Okay, and same as the ba, ab, 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 ab. Don't say abba, abba. Why abba is happening? You are moving the jaw along with the parting of the makhraj. Once you part the makhraj, you have to come back to the neutral position of the mouth. What is this neutral position of the mouth? When we are saying, when we are talking side to side, for example, now I am teaching you, right? So you will imagine me, or you can imagine you talking. You are talking. You can imagine. Okay, and then you can imagine, or you can go and check in front of your mirror, and you can see the mouth movements. You will not unnecessarily move, or you will not unnecessarily make a smiley face. You will not oval your lips for some letters, right? We will have a neutral position, neutral mouth movement for our language. The same thing we have to adapt for the recitation of the Quran itself. The Quran recitation is not something very different that you have to make a smiley face for a light letter or oval face for a heavy letter. Understood? Always we have to be in the neutral position, just like we are talking to our own language. So if you're doing ab, b, b, if I say how my mouth movement is like that. You have to keep the exact same. Never open from that neutral position. Ab, 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 not abba. If you slightly open the T and J, then what is needed? You will be giving a fatha for the qalqala. Okay, so if you have any issue with the qalqala, and your teacher is saying that you are making a slight fatha, the reason is what? You are moving the lower jaw. Okay, don't move the lower jaw than what is needed. You just separate the makhraj. You can see the jim here. So why you can see the jaw is moving for the jim? Because when you do the jim, the TMJ will be closed. You can feel it. Ad. You will be taking your chin upwards, right? Ad. So you're closing the TMJ at that time. So we have to separate it. We have to come back to the neutral position, right? So the TMJ, we have to open a little bit. That again, we have to part the makhraj. The parting of the makhraj comes along with that. Don't open your mouth more than what that is needed. Then it will be aja, aja. No, aj. Understood? You have to keep this in mind. Okay, otherwise you will be making an error. Like same for ad. It is the same makhraj from the letter ko. Only difference is that it is a light letter, whereas apo is a heavy letter. Apo, this will be ad. Apo, ad. Apo, ad. Okay, so this is the makhraj of the letter of. Okay, I hope we will finish quickly the shadida letters. So for the hamza, so this is the second category. Remember, we are studying about the shadida letters, ajida qaf in brackets. They have their own way of solving the shidda. For the qaf, qa, ba, jim, dal, they will solve the shidda through qalqala. Now the hamza. The hamza, it is the same category as the qaf, the qutubajat letters, that it has the shidda and jahar. But for our recitation, Hafs and Asim, the hamza is nothing special. That means for some other qira'ah, they will sometimes do qalqala, they will sometimes do tasheel, they will sometimes do ibdal. When this hamza is something very important considering the rulings of qira'at. As the qira'at is changing, the ruling as to the hamza will change always. But as to Hafs and Asim recitation, the hamza will be always recited with tahqiq. What is tahqiq? Tahqiq means recite with the proper haqq. You know the definition of tajweed, right? What is tajweed? Tajweed means the pronunciation of a letter with its haqq and mustahab, right? So you know what is this haqq and what is this mustahab, okay? So tahqiq means reciting a letter with the haqq, the proper haqq. So how it should be recited? We have to recite it like that. There is no special solution so that we can, we will not make a qalqala in this. That's it. Okay? Antum, it's not antum. It's a common error like al-malaikatu, al-malaikatu, ikatu. No, al-malai, i, u, al-malaikatu, u, i. This is what we call as tahqiq. Okay. Now about the kaf and the ta. Just 1 minute. Okay, now about the last two letters, which are the kaf and the ta. So what is the specialty? Again, what we have discussed earlier itself. If you can remember the opening of the soda can, what happens once we open the soda can or some kind of fizzy drinks? So unless we are opening, actually the air is stuck inside, right? We know that the air is stuck inside. So what do you think? Once you open, the air will come after the opening, or the air will, the sound of the opening and the release of the air will happen together. What do you think? Even though it's a fraction of a second, what do you feel? Is it the two different mechanisms, or it is the same mechanism? The opening of the can along with the release of the air. What do you think? Is it coming together? Air will be coming after, right? Maybe you will think like, okay, now I open the can, the air will come out that simultaneous. It is not simultaneous. Unless you are opening the can, it will be stuck inside. Once you open it, once you are separating the closing of that can, the air will not escape. But if you open, then the air will escape. Understood? It is the same for the kaf and the ta. If you keep the makhraj of the kaf and the ta exactly like that, no air will be releasing through that. So if you say ak, it is wrong. If you say at, it is wrong. If you say ak, how much you try to extend the sound of the kaf and the ta, you will not be able to hear any sound, whether it is that of the kaf or that of the hams. But if you open the makhraj, if you separate the makhraj, at that instant, the air will be released. Again, it is without any effort from your side. What does that mean? If you push the air, okay, let's say if you push the air. Okay, so what is the first mechanism? The collision by which the sound of the kaf or ta is made and its quality of shidda is given, like ak. Even though it is a shidda, you will be able to hear the sound. How is it happening? For example, you are in a completely closed room. Okay, so if you scream inside the room, the sound will go out, even though everything is completely shut. Of course, it is not. Let's avoid the chance that it's a soundproof room. Okay, so even though you will scream inside the room, the sound will go out. How much it is tightly closed? It is same like that. Okay, so even though the makhraj is completely shut, you know I did the kaf and not the ta. Understood? If I say at, you know I did the ta and not the kaf. Why? Because some kind of the sound spreading will happen, but not in theory. It's not like we can say the air is releasing from the makhraj. No. Even though the sound, actually this is why we are saying the sound is actually produced at the makhraj, but the flow is cut there. It is not that the sound is not produced. Of course, the sound is produced. That's why you are able to identify whether you made a kaf or whether you made a ta. The sound is produced at the makhraj, but it is not able to flow. It is not able to come out from the place where the sound is formed. Understood? So here you are making the ak or at. Now the second point, when you part the makhraj, the air will be released. Ak. So if you make an exaggeration, or if you try to send this air out, how it will be? Ak or at is too much. Or for the ta, what happens? Sometimes they will do the makhraj and then they will part also. But one parting, what they will do, they will take the tip of the tongue to the makhraj of the seal. So sometimes the sofir will happen along with the sound of the hums of the ta. So either it will be because of you are going to the makhraj of the seal, or sometimes it will happen if you squeeze the makhraj, like at, no, at. It is exactly the sound of the air which was stuck at the makhraj. It is not something you are doing. It is the same, the makhraj of the kaf and the ta itself. You are not doing something additional. It is the same that. Okay. Okay. So whenever you are doing a kaf with a sukoon, make sure if the timing of the letter, for example, if I am saying asa, asa. You can hear the sound of the scene clearly. Asa, right? But if I am saying yetlu, the timing of the ta sukun, it is the shidda timing, not along with the hums. This hums has nothing to do with the timing of the ta sakina. The ta sakina you are doing yet. This is the timing. Then you are parting for the lam. You are going for the lam. In between, the hums is heard. So don't make it like yet slu. No, yet slu, yet slu. Or don't say yet slu, yet slu. No, yet slu, yet slu. Understood? So these are the few things you have to keep in mind. So this is all about the shidda and hums. Okay. So what Imam Ibn al-Jazari is saying about the shidda letters is that shadiduha lafzu ajida qadin bakat. Shadiduha means the letters of shidda. They are in the lafzu. Lafzu means the term ajid qadin bakat. So this is all about the shidda. And then Imam is going to the line number 22 and he is continuing for the Rakhawa and the Tawassut. Okay, that inshallah we will cover in the next week. Actually, I thought to finish at least Shidda Rakhawa and Tawassut, but our revision discussion took almost 1 hour. But it's okay, it was a good revision, I think. And then next week there will be very few questions so that we can finish the discussion within 20 minutes and then we will continue with the topic. Okay, so Jazakumullah khairan. تقبل الله منا ومنكم. You have any doubt until here? Anything to discuss further? Okay, I think there is no. بارك الله فيكم. الحمد لله. تقبل الله منا ومنكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.